What's up, guys? Partywaffles here, and today I got a new video for you guys. I'm gonna make an updated version of my Frost Deathknight macros video. So it's gonna include my keybinds as well, so you guys can get an inside look at my keybinds and macros and how I kind of play the game, sort of say. And at the end of all this, I'm gonna give you guys a couple tips on what I would improve with my macros if I were to start over. So you guys can kind of go from there. So let's start it right out here. So the first thing we have is Q, which is my Remorseless Winter, and it's no macro, okay? No macro on that key. The next one we have is Chill Streak, which is on my 1. Again, there's no macro, it's just Chill Streak. So Death Strike is on E, no macro, just the button. Number 2 is going to be my Howling Blast, okay? On Howling Blast, I actually have a macro. The macro for this is simple. It's just it has dark command built into the keybind, okay? So basically what it's going to do is you push this, if there's a pet, it's going to taunt the pets to go to you. So it's going to take them off your healer, and also it's going to set it up for a chill streak. So you can use the pets to chill streak. The next thing we have here is Death Grip on R, okay? But this is also a macro, so let me show you the macro for this. Sorry. So the macro here we have is it's just going to be a shift focus macro, okay? So what it's going to do, how this is going to function is if you have a focus target, like say like this. So I have a focus target here. So this is my, up top, this is my target right here, right? And this is my focus target. So if I'm targeting this target and I hold Shift R, it's just going to grip the other guy, right? So that way I don't have to switch my target at all. I don't have to switch my target, and I can just grip the other guy to where it needs to be. It's also easy to switch your focus targets, but I'll tell you how I do that at the end here. So the next thing we have is, again, I have Obliterate on number 3. I like to keep my damage abilities 1, 2, 3, 4, my rotation, as much as possible, really. So the next thing we have here is Obliterate on number 3. Again, it's going to be the same as the Howling Blast, though. If you look, it's just going to taunt all the pets towards you with Dark Command automatically. So you don't have to do that. It's just something you can do, right? The next thing we have here is Mind Freeze, which is on my S key. So that's going to be my interrupt. My interrupt on my S. So it's the same kind of thing as the Death Grip, right? I just have a focus target macro for it. So if I hold Shift and I hit S, it's gonna kick my focus target, right? Like say like I'm targeting this guy over here. If I hold Shift S, it's gonna kick that guy. So I don't have to change my target to kick something. So basically it just saves you some action. It saves you a bunch of actions and inputs that you would have to put in. So as opposed to switching your target to kick and then switching back, it's just sort of one swift action, right? The next thing we have here is, let's see, Frost Strike. Okay, my Frost Strike is on my 4 key, and there's no macro or anything. It's just Frost Strike. It's just a basic run-of-the-mill Frost Strike, okay? The next thing we have here is Chains of Ice. So when I tell you things that I know that I could improve on, this macro is going to be one of them, okay? You can do this. I do this. I get by with it. So Chains of Ice. Look, I don't have to target the target. I can just Chains of Ice anything because it's an at cursor, right? So I don't have to actually be targeting anything. So it's just an at cursor macro. But if I have a target, it'll just change my target. So it's just a way that I can throw chains up on things without having to change my target, basically. But yeah, I'll explain in the end why I don't really like it that much, though. But it does the trick for now. The next thing I have here is Death Coil on number 5. So that's nothing. It's just number 5 with Death Coil. That's all there is. It's on number 5 because I don't usually press number 5 very often. And yeah, it's Death Coil. So you don't really have to push it for Frost. The only time you're going to push it is if you're going to kill somebody, basically. Or if you're going to heal yourself with Lichborn. So the next keybind, the next keybind we have here is F. It's going to be F for Blinding Sleet. But if I'm going to change out Blinding Sleet ever and play Asphyxiate, then I can just throw the Asphyxiate on there because my F key is open. So I can have F and Shift F to focus Asphyxiate. But right now there's no keybind, there's no macro. It's just going to be my Blinding Sleet on there. But it's an interchangeable key for me that I use for a lot of shift macros. The next thing we have here is shift 2, which is my Frostworm Fury. There's no macro for this. It's just on shift 2. So if I want to shoot my dragon, I just boop, shift 2. There it is. The next thing we have here is G. So my empowered rune weapon is going to be on G, and it has a macro on it. This macro currently doesn't get any use because we don't play Breath of Sindragosa ever. But it could get some use in the future. Who knows? Basically, what it is it's just empowered rune weapon and Breath of Sindragosa. Because I can't think of a time where you're ever just going to use Breath of Sindragosa and not use empowered rune weapon with it. I can't think of a single time, so I figured, hey, I'll just throw Breath in here in case I ever have to spec Breath, because that way I have them all in one button. And it saves me some valuable button space, because you know Frosty K, they got a lot of buttons. But yeah, so that's that. Shift 3 is Glacial Advance if you decide to play that. There's no macro. It's just the Glacial Advance. Okay, number T. So on T we have Icebound Fortitude. Again, it's nothing special. It's literally just my Icebound Fortitude. If you'll see right here, boom, no macro, no nothing, just Icebound Fortitude on T, because it's kind of hard. It's kind of a hard key to press by accident or anything like that. So that's why I like to have my Icebound Fortitude on it. The next thing we have here is Pillar of Frost. Oh, this one you guys like. This is the Partywaffles one-shot. Okay, this is the one-shot key. If you take a little look-see right here. So this is my one-shot macro, okay? So I have Pillar of Frost in it. I have Blood Fury, the Orc Racial. I have my PvP Trinket, and I have Empowered Rune Weapon. Yes, and it's on my Z key. So when I want to start going in and just start popping off on the damage, I just hit Z, and then boom, I just go ham. The next thing we have here is, on my tilde key is Transfusion, which I never use right now. So this key is just kind of a key that doesn't even get used. Not really that important. Anti-Magic Shell is on X. I always have my spell defensives or my reflect on my X key. I don't know why. I just think of X, like get away, stay away, you know? Like X to defend yourself. That's what I think of that. So that's why I have that on my X key all the time. So if you guys watched my last keybind macro video, you'll notice that I kind of changed some of these. So for my anti-magic zone, I used to use an @cursor macro. So what that would do is just wherever your cursor is, you push it and it would just throw the zone. But I reverted from using the @cursor to using the click in place zone. Because so think of it this way, the @cursor macro, it's faster, but so many times you can scuff the zone. Like if you accidentally hit like a tiny piece of like a mountain or like a ceiling or anything, the zone's not going to go on the ground, it's just going to go up in the air. So it is a little bit slower like this. And there's a chance that if you're polymorphed or something and you're spamming your trinket to get that and you get the zone, there's a chance that they instantly blind you or something before you can maybe get the zone down, because it's like a tenth of a second slower, I think. But you sacrifice the speed for accuracy. So it's up to you what you like more. If you like @cursor more, you can use the @cursor for more speed, but there's a chance that you can scuff the zone a little bit. So it's just like speed or accuracy, whichever one you want, really. The next thing we have here is V, which is going to be my Dark Simulacrum macro, which is the same as my grip, kick, everything like that. So it's just going to be a focus macro. So if I press V, it's just going to hit my normal target, and if I hold Shift V, it's going to Dark Sim my focus target. So that's pretty straightforward too. Same kind of deal as the rest of it. Death's Advance is on Shift E. I don't know, I just feel like it's easy for me to hit that, especially when I have my finger on the W key. So it works good for me. I have another @cursor macro, like I was just talking to you guys about the zone. For my Shift X is my Death and Decay. So look at this. I don't have to actually place it. Like, notice the difference? My cursor's there. Boom, it's there instantly. So that's what I used to do with the zone, but I scuffed too many zones, so I kind of got rid of it. And I'm trying to work, like I've been using @cursor zone for a long time, but I've been switching it up and I'm trying to relearn the other way now. But you can use @cursor for Death and Decay easily, just to stop drinks or anything like that, right? Anything like that. The next thing we have here is mouse. So on my mouse, I'm going to show you right now, okay? So we're going to take a look at my mouse, all right? So right now I have the Razer Death Adder Elite or something. I think it's Elite, but look, let me just show you. I'll show you full screen for 1 millisecond here. So if you can see, I only have... Come on, pick up. So there's just 2 buttons on the side there, okay? So when I'm referring to mouse buttons 1 up or down, that's what I'm referring to. So mouse button up is going to be my Wraith Walk, because it's easy for me to push while I'm running. And mouse button down is going to be my A-Bomb's Limb. So those are those. I like to keep big cooldowns kind of on the mouse button for some reason. I don't know why, I just personally do it. So those are those, and then up here we have on Frost we have nothing here. So this slot right here would be shift mouse button forward. We have nothing on that. But for my trinket on all my characters, my trinket is going to be that side mouse button I just showed you guys, the bottom one. It's going to be the shift bottom mouse button. So I can't really push it by accident, because if you push your trinket by accident, it's going to be bad news bears. Okay, and then the next one we have here is going to be control. So this is again mouse button, that same mouse button, the one that Wraith walks on. That mouse button I showed you, this is going to be control mouse button forward. It's going to be my Lichborn healing macro. And if I spam it, it's going to heal me. So I'll show you the macro for that. The macro for this is going to be right here. It's going to be Lichborn, and then you're going to just, if you push the macro multiple times, it's going to spam yourself with death coils. And I threw hypothermic presence in there, even though I've never played it, because like hypothermic presence, if you use that while you Lichborn heal yourself, you can just spam coils on yourself. So that's about the only time I could see myself using it. So I just threw it in there. The next thing we have here is Fleshcraft, which is Alt 2 for me, no macro. And then Healthstone is Shift T, no macro. This is useless, just there for fun. Path of Frost is Shift 4. My mount is F1. Dark Command on its own is Alt 3, in case I need to just command something specifically rather than just everything. My sacrifice macro is B, and it's going to be like this. So it's going to summon my pet for me, and it's going to sacrifice my pet. So I can spam it all in one macro to do everything for that. So, and it'll just spam it and sack it for you. And the last thing here is just raise ally, which is for PvE, right? So it doesn't matter. So now that you've seen all my keybinds and everything, right? You've seen all my keybinds, you've seen all my macros. Now I'm going to tell you, if I could do it all over, what I would change, okay? Because I'm going to show you the weak points in my gameplay, okay? I'm going to expose the weaknesses in this, all right? So the weaknesses for me in this, number one is my Chains of Ice macro, okay? So actually, before I say this, there's one more thing. So this is how I target, okay? So to target an arena, I'm going to show you with my mouse, okay? So I'm going to take my mouse wheel. If I want to target, so you got your 3 arena frames right here, right? I'll just show you. /Gladius test. So we have our arena frames right here, right? So just ignore 4 and 5. So we're thinking about 1, 2, 3. So say I want to target arena 1, I roll my mouse wheel up. I want to target arena 2, I push my mouse wheel in. I want to target arena 3, I roll my mouse wheel down. Okay? So up, in, down. 1, 2, 3. That's how I target an arena, okay? Or if I want to set my focus targets, because remember I told you guys I only use focus macros, right? So if I want to set my focus target, if I want to focus 1, shift mouse wheel up. I want to focus 2, shift mouse wheel in. I want to focus 3, shift mouse wheel down, okay? I have no problems with that targeting. The way that I target, I think that's awesome. It works great. And focus, it's all really good. The only thing that I see, the place where I could improve, and I wish that I had a different mouse for, is Chains of Ice, mostly. For my Chains of Ice, I wish that I had Arena 1, 2, 3 Chains of Ice macros. So like 3 different macros for Chains of Ice, 1 for Arena 1, 1 for Arena 2, 1 for Arena 3. Because if I want to Chains of Ice somebody, which is very important for you to keep your Chains of Ice in Arena, especially like, it's super important, okay? So I'm a melee, right? So I'm over here, my mouse is over here, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. I'm fighting this guy. Say I want to Chains of Ice buddy in the distance. Either I have to use my mouse to switch arena targets, or I have to put my mouse over their arena frame to change them, or I need to put my mouse over their character. So all of which is requiring me to, there's a positional requirement on my cursor, or I have to change my target, which is losing me actions. So if I was just using an arena 1, 2, 3 chains, so 3 different macros, it would save me actions. I wouldn't have to change my target. I wouldn't have to have a positional requirement on my mouse to like scroll over them for the chains. So it would be significantly faster. So that is one of the weak points. That's, if I could change one thing, that's the biggest thing I would change, is have a chains 1, 2, 3 macro. So what I'm going to recommend you guys is that you have like if I could learn from the start and use a Razer Naga or one of the 12 button mice, I would. Because if you have the 12 button mice, you could have an Arena 123 macro for Chains of Ice. You could have Arena 123 macro for Mind Freeze, which is also really important because say if there's three casters and they're all casting an important spell, sure, I can have my one target here and I can have my one target focused. But then there's a third target, right? So if I want to kick that third target, I either need to change targets or change my focus. So instead of it being one input, just kicking like say like you just hit your Arena 3 kick, boom, it kicks Arena 3. I have to switch my target and then kick and then switch back to my original target, right? So instead of like one action, it's going to take me three actions. So there's no question about it whether a 12 button mouse would be better for that kind of thing. Because if I had a 12 button mouse, I'd be using 1, 2, 3 for chains. I would be using 1, 2, 3 for kick, and at least those two minimum. I'd even probably have 1, 2, 3 for dark sim and 1, 2, 3 for grip too. Because it's just less actions for you, right? You just hit one key and then you have it. So if if I could go back in time and improve or relearn, that's what I would do. I honestly might grab a Razer Naga myself and just do it, but I don't want to have to relearn it this far in, but I might do it because it's definitely there's no question about it. It's more efficient, but other than that, you can do what I do and you can get by just fine. It's just if you wanted to look at how to be the best possible, the most efficient, that would be my tip. But other than that, thanks for watching, guys. And so if you check below the stream in the description, I actually added where between the Twitch link, the social media links, I actually added a merch link. So if you guys want to help with this, help with the Twitch channel or the Twitch channel. If you guys want to support the YouTube channel, you can grab any of the merch. And yeah, if not, just drop a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.